Good morning, class.
Good morning.
Okay. All right, guys. So angles. Okay, we're embarking on angles. You drew this and you drew this. Okay, so let's talk about it. There are three ways that you can name. Everybody write name. Just like there were two ways that you could name a line, and there are two ways to name a line, 3 ways to name a plane.
Yep.
So 3 points and then the capital letter. Actually, just 2 ways to name a plane. Okay, anyway. So now there are 3 ways, right? 3 ways to name an angle, okay? So number 1, you can use the letter at the vertex. So everybody draw the dot because you drew this. Draw the arrow to it and write vertex. That's the vertex of an angle. Okay, make sure you draw that. And what is the letter at the vertex? A. So you can just use the letter at the vertex. So letter A at the vertex. That's one way to name it. Okay. The second way you can name an angle is by using the number that's on the interior, which is why we have interior and exterior shown to you here. Okay. You can use the number on the inside of the angle to name it, so you can use the number. Okay. Or you can use the 3 letters that make up the angle. So you can say angle, okay, everybody draw that symbol. That's the angle symbol. It's either like that or it's just, I think in the textbook, it's just that, okay? That's the symbol for angle, so write that. You can say angle BAC or CAB, okay? It's pretty easy. Guys, you always have to make sure though, if you're choosing to name it this way, that the letter, the point that's the vertex always goes in the center, okay? So that is just naming an angle and knowing the 3 ways how to name an angle, okay? So moving on, here is an example that we're going to do in class, okay? What are 2 other ways to name angle 1? And so now we're moving on to the protractor, okay? You don't have to draw this in your notes, but just look. We have to be aware, okay, that how to use the protractor and measure angles, okay? Because we have 0 through 180 on the top, and then we have 0 through 180 on the bottom, and you can measure in both directions. So when we're looking at angle AOB, okay, you can see that it opens up to 125 degrees, okay? So from here to here is 125 degrees, okay? But if it was the other way, right, if it was this way, okay, and I'm going to try to do as best I can.
Wait, you draw that?
Okay, from here to here is also 125 degrees. From here to here, okay, where I had to use the top. So from here to here, I had to use the bottom row, right? But then from here to here, I had to use the top row. Now, if I wanted to know the measure of the angle, let's just erase this. What if I wanted to know just the measure of this angle only? So let me name it AOC, okay? What if I just wanted to know the measure of angle AOC? How would I find the measure of this angle? Well, you could take 125 right here, right? So from here to here is what we're talking about. This is 125 and this is 55 right here. So how would I find this? I would take 125 and subtract 55, and what does that give us? Is that 75? What's
70.
70 degrees, okay? So, and then no subtraction necessary here, because from here to here is just 55 degrees, okay? So, let's take a look, nothing to write in your notes, you're just looking and listening, okay? And then, so, it's showing you in this example, okay, that in order to find from here to here, you just take the higher number and subtract the lower number. That's just another example. Okay, so now I need you to write this down in your notes. Now we're going to talk about the types of angles. I'm sure that you have seen this before. There are 4 types of angles, so let's write this in our notes. Draw it and write it. Let's put that away, please, Jerome. Okay, so an acute angle is any angle, thank you Isidore for doing that, thank you. Okay, so an acute angle is less than, as you can see, it's in between 0 and 90 degrees. So it's less than 90 degrees, okay? So draw that in your notes. A right angle is 90 degrees and is always symbolized by the box, the 90-degree box, okay? Okay, right angle. Then we have obtuse, okay, from here all the way to here, where it surpasses that 90 degrees. It's greater than 90 degrees, but less than, this would be 100, so 180 degrees is a straight angle. That's a straight angle that's in the entire 180 degrees, okay? But an obtuse angle is greater than 90, but less than 180. So make sure you write that in your notes. I'm sure we know this. I'm sure we were told this before. Not difficult at all, okay? So we're going to do some practice examples on the board, to go over that. Okay, moving on.
No.
We'll come back to it later. So this is the practice examples we're going to go over together. Don't worry about that right now. We'll come back to that, when we're done recording. Okay. And then now we're going to talk about congruent angles. So everyone, go ahead and draw that. Congruent angles. Just like we talked about congruent segments, right? Congruent, hello, the squiggly with the equal to symbol underneath it, right? And we talked about congruency markings, okay? So write congruent angles and draw it, okay? So when we did congruent segments, right, 1 and 1, it had one tally mark, and I call them tally mark or congruency markings. If it had 1 and 1, they were congruent. If this has 1 and this has 2, then they're not equal in length, okay? So when we're talking about congruent angles, we need to know similarly, how are we going to know if an angle is congruent to another angle? Well, here it is. Here's your congruency marking, right? If there's 1 and 1, you know that angle A and angle B are equal in measure, right? If I have 2 here, are they equal now? No. If I put 2 more, if I have 3 congruency markings, are they equal? No. Are they equal now? Are they congruent now? Yes. So the number of little arcs, okay, tells you if they are congruent or equal in measure. And they'll tell you, sometimes they'll say this is x plus 4, and this is 10, right? And it'll say solve for x. How would we set that up?
X equals 4.
Right.
X plus 4 equals 10.
Right, well they are equal to each other, so we would just simply set them equal to each other and solve for x. So if we subtract 4 from both sides, x equals 6. That's a quick way of looking at it, okay? So we'll get into that a little bit later, but very good. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the angle addition postulate. Okay, so let's title angle, just say angle addition, okay? Angle addition. So let's take a look at this figure. Alright? So guys, it says if the measure, so that little m, John, please sit up and look up here. If this little m means measure, so it says if the measure of angle RQT is 155, so RQT, the whole thing, okay? That whole angle is 155 degrees, okay? The whole thing. What are the measures of angle RQS and the measure of TQS? Okay, TQS. That looks. I have to put that Q right there because it looked like an O. All right. So how are we going to do that? Well, you know that this angle, right, plus this angle equals the entire angle. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay, so let's set that up together. You're writing as I'm writing. Let's add them together. So we have 4x minus 20 plus 3x plus 14
Your hard corner for drills,
is right there.
right?
Yeah.
For the X out.
Okay, thanks. And equals 155. Okay? So we just add them together, just like segment addition. This is angle addition. Okay? So now we what? We combine like terms, because if we don't know what x is equal to, guys, then we won't know, okay, the measure of this angle. We have to solve for x so we can plug it in and find out the measure of the angle. So 4 plus 3 is 7x. Negative 20 plus 14 is a negative 6 equals 155. I need calculator help, okay? So add 6 to both sides, right? 7x equals 161. And we divide by 7 on both sides. X equals what? 161 divided by 7? Is that 21?
23.
23.
21.
Mario. Okay, 23. So now all we have to do to find out the measure of each of these angles, okay, calculator people, is put in 23 here and put in 23 there.
92.
Okay, so which one is 92?
4.
Which angle?
4.
Name it.
RQS.
Okay, so this angle is 92.
69.
And this one is 69. Now, how can we check to make sure that we did it correctly? Yes, if you add 92 plus 69, if that equals 155, okay, then we know you did it correctly.
It's
Okay.
161.
No, from here all the way to here is 155 degrees.
Yeah, I got 161.
No.
92 plus 69.
Okay, so then we have to redo it, guys. Get your calculator.
You get something wrong.
Now I was trusting you, Mr. Mario. Let's do the math. So what's 4 times 23? Huh?
4.
Times 23.
92.
92 minus 20 is 72.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Oh, she-
Now what's 3
minus.
times 23?
69.
69
69 plus 14 is
plus 14 gives you 83.
83. Now add those together. Is that 155?
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay. We can make a mistake in a recorded video. Who cares? All right, here we go. That's called what? Real life. Moving on. Now we're going to talk about this example. Write it and draw it. Okay. I'm going to do this really quickly on the spot. 'cause I wanna make this bigger for you guys to see.
Amazing.
Okay,
Wow.
so. It says DEF is a straight angle. So that means automatically, guys, that you know from here all the way to here is 180 degrees. Write that. Do it now. Write it. So they want to know the angles of DEC and CEF. Okay?
We gonna do it just how we did the other one.
Yep. Okay, but they didn't need to give you the measure of angle DEF because we know that straight angles are 180 degrees. So, how are we going to solve for x in this one?
So you take your 11
11x
minus 12
minus 12
plus 2
plus
plus 2x
2x
plus 10
plus 10
equals 180.
equals 180. Fabulous. Okay? So now we combine like terms, right?
Yeah.
11 plus 2 is 13x. Negative 12 plus 10 is negative 2 equals 180. Subtract 2 from both sides. 13 equals 178. Okay? Divide by 13 on both sides. What do we get? 178 divided by 13?
It gives you 13.6.
What did Miss Hutchinson do wrong? I'm supposed to add 2 to both sides, you guys.
I knew you were on something.
Alright. Hey, real life. I'm an imperfect person. Here we go. So we add 2 to both sides. So 182 divided by 13. 14. Solid 14. Okay, here we go. So now we're just gonna what? Calculator people. Here we go. So 11 times 14 is?
142.
142 minus 12 is?
142. That's the one.
Whoa.
Okay, that's the whole thing.
That's the one.
Okay, so what's 11 times 14?
154.
154. 154 minus 12?
142.
142.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's just do it step by step. Now, 2 times 14 is 28. 28 plus 10 is 38. Okay? Very good. So, moving on. Okay. Let me see if this is just... Okay, so, I want you guys to look up here. Okay? This is an example that you're going to get in your assignment. So this refers to the congruency markings, right? So you know by how many arcs there are, it tells you which angle is congruent to the other. So we're going to go over this live together. And then let's take another look. Here's 2 practice problems we can talk about. And then this here, putting in the algebra, where basically, guys, just take a look here so you know what you're looking at for your assignment today. It says the measure of angle AOB. So here's AOB, this angle right here. That little angle is equal to 4x minus 2. So here comes the algebra connection again. And the measure of angle BOC, BOC, this right there, okay? Is 5x plus 10. And this one we just said was 4x minus 2. Okay? And the measure of angle COD, COD is 2x plus 14. Okay? So we have to solve for x. How would we do that? This angle is 4x minus 2. This angle is 5x plus 10. And this angle is 2x plus 14. But what is the clue in the figure that would tell you how to solve for x?
Congruence.
Yes. So this angle is equal to this angle. So how do we set that up to solve for x? We set them equal to each other. So let's do that right now. So we have 4x minus 2, set it equal to, you're writing as I'm writing in your notes, 2x plus 14. So now we just solve for x. So we can't have variables on both sides, so let's subtract 2x from both sides. Okay, we get 2x minus 2 equals 14. We're going to add 2 and divide by 2. So adding 2 to both sides is 2x equals 16. Divide by 2 on both sides, x equals 8. Okay? So now, are we able to find the measures of each of these angles? Yes. Okay? So let's just take it 2. Let's do here. So 2 times 8 is 16. 16 plus 14 is that 40?
Yes, wait. Yes.
30.
30, right. Okay, 30. So if this is 30, right? Then what's the measure of this angle? 30. Okay? I'm doing this because this is going to be an example in your assignment. Now, good. So 5 times 8 gives you 40, and 40 plus 10 is 50. Okay? There we go. All right, you guys, that's basically everything you need to know for angles so far.